All right, everyone. Welcome to another fine episode of the Technically Armored Podcast. I am your host, Melodic Warrior, and with me today I have my good friends. I'll let them introduce themselves.
Ladies first, I am lazy
Robot.
YouTuber in the world. I'm
Robotic.
Out the gate already. Give me a break.
Robot.
That should make for a great intro, though, or at least a blooper.
man, that's some bullshit.
One more time.
I can't do it one more time. Now it doesn't make sense no more. I am LazyCreepyPasta. I'm a YouTuber.
I'm Ghost Tigrex. I'm a Twitch streamer.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty shitty one.
What did you just say?
I said a pretty shitty one.
Oh,
No, you. You have more followers than me, yet my chat's more alive.
Yeah, your chat has the same 3 people in it.
More than you'll ever get.
I don't like talking about it.
Oh God.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Oh dear. But hey, that's the reason why we're on here is because why not band together a little and share our experiences we've had? Oh dear. Excuse me 1 second while I drop my eyes because I'm actually starting to cry from laughing.
Nerd.
Ghost.
Weak.
Go.
Pathetic.
Hold on, Ghost. Have you known me to be anything else?
You
Nope.
dishonor your family.
Bring great dishonor to your clan.
Yeah, well. Anyway, so, and now that introductions are out of the way, yeah. So,
Really cringy introduction.
I mean, it was kind of an introduction, but there's definitely going to be some bloopers, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to actually let you go first, Funny, excuse me, Lazy Creepy Pasta. Gosh, well, you need to make up your mind which username you're going to use more frequently. It's confusing me.
I'm just call him lazy all night.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's a
Make up your
YouTube
name. What do
thing.
you want us to call you?
For the podcast? Lazy.
Okay.
All right, we'll go with that.
Yep, sounds good. All right. I'm going to let you go first, Lazy, since you've been doing this longer than Ghost or myself.
So I began my YouTubing. At first I didn't know what I wanted to do. I used to just post just gameplay of whatever. Like I was I used to do just regular gameplay, just no commentary, nothing, because I didn't have the software for it back then. So then after that, I wanted to try to become a Sims streamer. I mean, YouTuber. Then that didn't work out. So then I just kind of fell off of YouTube for a bit. Then I got back. Then I began streaming at some point when I was 20 something, about 6 years ago. My first stream was a co-stream. It was me and my friend Josh, and we were called AJ Gamers Online. Then it was going good. Me and him got 500 followers in the first month, and if we never had a falling out, we probably could have been a pretty big YouTube Twitch co-stream. Then I also began doing YouTube, like more YouTube on the side of streaming, but I still had no idea what kind of content I wanted to make. So I was trying to be one of those Leafy clones. And then one time I did a scary story and found out that I have a pretty good voice for reading scary stories, and that's what I've been doing ever since. Scary stories. Pretty good stuff.
I know you and I had talked previously about some of that. I just never knew that you were kind of jumping around all over the place there. So that's actually quite interesting. You bring that stuff up. So definitely something I want to dive more into later.
Yeah, maybe I'll even go into details about the falling out me and my friend had back then.
It's up to you. I'm kind of leaving this up to you guys as to how much you want to speak because I know sometimes there's, matters of privacy and then there's also matters of, just respecting people in general, to make sure that we don't do anything that would actually disrespect an individual, even if we disagree with them.
It don't matter to me, because it happened so long ago. Like I messaged him on PlayStation because I no on Xbox because I have the Xbox app. So I messaged my friend, and I apologize, and it was all my fault. So now we're friends, but we haven't like played yet together. Even though we want to play a game again, I'll go into more details later.
Okay, sounds good. Um, what about you, Ghost? What got you to want to start becoming a content creator slash streamer?
Well, for me, I would just do silent because like I didn't have a mic that was compatible with the PlayStation for a long time, so I would just do like like once a month or so. I'd do like a stream that for like an hour or so, and then stop. But then Scourge started streaming, and at like the beginning of the year, and I saw him doing that, and it was fun, playing with him and everything and interacting with chat. So I decided. So once I got a mic for myself, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna see how I do. That's really how I started.
Cool, 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 cool. I kind of figured Scourge was inspiring you because I saw that some you and him would talk and chat a lot, and so to me that was a huge indicator that it's like, okay, yeah, you're taking some points from him. So which I always found really curious, but in a good way.
Oh yeah, Scourge and I talk a lot.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Kind
Well,
of, kind of just force my way into DMs.
I mean, we all have our ways of getting in the mix, joining communities and such. Um, and honestly, I would say for me, what got me into content creation was, oh goodness, this was a long time ago. Um, for me, I actually wanted to start content creation back when I was about 16, 17 years old. Because at the time I was playing World of Tanks pretty consistently enough. Now, to be fair, at that time, the reason why I, was only considering it and not going anywhere with it was because we didn't even have a broadband connection yet. We were kind of stuck on data plan with my parents' smartphone because there really wasn't a whole lot in terms of offerings outside of Comcast in our area. And at the time, the prices were so ridiculously expensive, it wasn't even funny. And what ended up happening was after about a year or two, so this would have been about 2016, I think, when this happened. Um, Basically, then finally, they broke down and got I think at that, what was the entry level package at that time for Comcast? That gave you about 5 megabits of internet speed at that time. When that happened, that's kind of when I started being able to connect online more. And therefore, I was able to do occasional recording of gameplay here and there because by that time, I had a gaming laptop. Uh, it was an Asus Republic of Gamer G750JS, and it was powerful enough that I could record some gameplay while still being able to do the other things at the same time. And I dabbled a little in that, and I also was doing some leftover sound tech work. I was finishing up at that time as well. Then I just kind of set it off to the side for a long time because I just wanted to focus on gaming only. Um, One of the reasons why, because I was involved in competitive league and World of Tanks at that time. It took up until about 2018 when I finally built my first desktop, and then that's when a whole new world started opening. Because then I realized the parts were more powerful. I could play games more smoothly, and I actually had more hardware to work with to be able to do video editing, audio editing, and originally, what I wanted to do was because I was at that time a very big fan of what Vanos Gaming and the rest of his friends were doing. I kind of wanted to do something like what they did, where we would play a variety of games and just do all kinds of dumb crap and fool around and make stupid jokes. I never really got to do that because I could never find a friend base that was willing to do that. Fast forward to last year, when I finally upgraded to a 1080 Ti, that's when I finally had enough desktop power that I started taking it a little more seriously. And I realized, well, maybe the whole YouTubing thing is not really the way I should be going. And so I kind of took a break from it. And then I got back into it, I think it was about October, because by then I was on a much better internet signal. I was finally starting to consider living on my own, and yeah, things were starting to really look up. And then November came around, and then that's when I met CMAD. Which, by the way, for folks who are listening, he's going to be one of the guests on in the future. Um, I met you, Ghost, in November. If I actually was it October or November?
October.
Wow.
Pretty certain I met you. I met you after the first sub night. So whenever that was, that's within the time frame.
First sub night was actually towards the end of September. So yeah, then you would be correct. It would have been probably within the first or second week of October.
Right. Yeah.
Jeez.
Because I remember when I met you, CMAD was there, and he was the one who I played with during the first sub night. So he was like someone I instantly recognized. I'm pretty certain it was within a week or two after that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that would make sense. Because I know that after I met you, then it wasn't but I think like in under 3 weeks after that, that's when Muscles, who also will be another guest later on down the line, folks, he started hanging out with us more frequently.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Mm-hmm. And then I remember as he started joining us more frequently, and then we just started hanging out, doing a lot of COD together. And then I know Lazy, you joined us. What was it, like month of November? I think it was.
Yeah, something like that. But I was never like active in the server all that much. I would say a thing here and there, but I think I recently began hanging out in the subs lounge.
Yeah, it's been since a while. Yeah, but you just started getting active recently.
Yeah,
I think you became more active.
I think yeah, I think it was this month when I became like really active in the community or something like that. No, I think I've been active for about a month, huh, or something.
Because like you'd say stuff every once in a while, and then that last month when I joined your server and kind of forced myself into the admin position by bullying you, then you started becoming more active and actually coming in here and everything. So yeah, it's either this month or middle of last month.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting since that time. I've noticed that, especially with the both of you, ever since that both of you have been more active in this itsxJas Discord community, that you both have had a chance to be able to get yourself more established and grow. And I know the same is true for me too. And this is where I kind of want to go back to this whole point that we brought up earlier, Lazy, is what, when you originally had that bigger following with your other friend there, do you remember what exactly it was that caused that community to really start growing?
We're not sure because me and him, we always worked like we played off each other, like he would say something, I'd make him laugh, he'd make me laugh, then eventually people in the chat was laughing, and then we had one viewer. I'm not too sure because it began with one viewer. Our first viewer we ever had. I still remember her name. She became the very first mod I ever assigned ever in the history of everything. Her name was Libby Creative. That was the name she chose. That one viewer turned into two, then two turned into six, and then we kept getting follows after follow. Then in the first week we had like 500 followers. Our chat was constantly in the 20 to 30 viewer range every single stream. It didn't matter what we played. Back then, I streamed The Sims 3 because that was the only game my computer could handle back then. So then 500 followers ended up turning into 800. Then that's around the time me and him had a falling out because back then I was very immature, you know? But I used to get jealous because I was always like, I wanted the attention, you know? But then when like viewers would give him attention, I would get kind of mad, you know? And I to this day I don't know why I got mad about that. What's that called? There's a thing for it. I forgot what it's called. Yes, I was being immature and I wanted the attention. But when our viewers was like sharing all these secrets with him, I don't know. I just lost my shit, you know. And eventually that put a strain on our friendship. But then until eventually we just stopped talking, and then after that I continued to stream for a few months after, but it was never the same. Like all those viewers, they never came back. And then so that 20 to 30 viewers would just out of nowhere turn to like 5 and then 1, and then the channel died and we ended with 1,200 followers. And I recently got back into streaming a couple of years ago. So it's never been the same since then. But now it's like, this happened about 5 or 6 years ago. But if we kept the momentum going like we did, then today we probably could have been even bigger than Alex is now. But yeah, ever since then, that old stream died, and then it was funny because it was two of us doing the streaming, but then out of nowhere, our viewers began calling me Father Alex, and they would call him Father Josh. It was the funniest thing. I know they would call me Father Alex, and they would call him Mother Josh. It was the funniest thing because even back then, I always called my followers the family because you know how every YouTuber and streamer has a name for their fan bases. Mine was the family. Even today, my Discord is called the family. Like that's just what I've always called them, and I've always felt that makes people feel closer to me, you know, than if they were just some random follower. The story of my original Twitch accounts, but we did make up though recently, so that's good.
That is definitely a lot to go through. I can only imagine.
Yeah, that's a lot of shit that happened.
Well, I know Ghost, you've only been more of a had more of a recent start. Excuse me. For you, do you have what you would say a dedicated viewer base, and do you see a community growing around it?
Well, right now mostly it's just Muscles and Zuck who hang around, and
Mm-hmm.
I hope to make something of it though. Like I'd like to.
You may brag about your 8 people, but I had up to 30. Okay, so screw you.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Maybe later I'll share one of my streams with. I still got it saved on that Twitch account. It was the first stream ever.
I mean, I definitely want to see you grow as well, Ghost, because I think you do have a lot of potential. Just because you do play a variety of games, which is something that you just don't see as much with content creators these days, and I'm still trying to figure that one out.
Well, I have a reason for why, and that is inspiration from Alex, because I see her playing COD. Right? She's bored of it. She plays Valheim. She's having fun, or at least looks like she's having fun. At least. Next day, she's like, "Oh, everyone complained about me not playing Valheim. They were like, oh, Warzone, Warzone. So I'm playing Warzone again. I don't want to be locked down to one game. Not happening."
I've also seen what streaming one game does to someone, because doing one game, like, eventually you're going to get bored. That's why I also like to make that. That's why I also do a variety of different things. But back in the day, the reason why I only streamed The Sims 3 because that's all that I could play on that computer.
Right.
But now I have an actual gaming PC. I stream whatever.
Like you just started Final Fantasy.
Yeah. Like Final Fantasy 14. I just began doing that again. But I don't grow as fast as I would like to, being a variety streamer, because unfortunately, people on Twitch, they only want to watch one type of game. So if like
Right.
if you like stream like Apex, and then you get people watching you for Apex, that's all that they want to watch. You might have like 10 people or 20 people watching Apex, but the second you go to a different game, your chat is going to be empty. And I never understood why Twitch viewers were like that. Like me, I follow people based on their personality. I don't care what they're streaming. Like that's why most people that I watch makes me a mod, because I'm there no matter what game that they're playing, you know?
On your point, like most of the time, I'm not even watching. I'm listening. So whatever's happening in the background, I really don't care. Like whatever they're playing, I'm listening to them.
Like when I'm in Alex's stream, I don't really watch her. I just like to chat to other people, you know? It's fun.
Right. Yeah. I'm listening to her while I'm mainly in chat 90% of the time.
Even when she streamed Visage, she was having fun, you know?
And actually, if you don't mind me chiming in, I can definitely attest to getting locked down to one game, because back when I had my gaming laptop, there were only two games that I could even dare to hope to stream on a regular basis or do any sort of video recording with, and that was Mass Effect and World of Tanks. Um, because like you guys, when I was first thinking about it, I was kind of locked in because of the limitations of my hardware, right? Granted, they were some of the most powerful hardware available at that time, but there were still enough limitations that it just didn't make sense for me to start doing it. It really wasn't until about when I built my first desktop that's when it all changed. And even then, I still played the heck out of World of Tanks until about 2019, when I finally said, you know what, I'm burned out. And then that's when I got into Modern Warfare, really started enjoying that. And then, eventually leads up to meeting you guys, right? And then even then, because I played Modern Warfare and nothing but that with you guys plus Warzone so much, I just eventually got burned out with that too and found I had to start going to other games. And now, we play Rogue Company as well more recently. And I would have to say for me, right, that's been one of the danger pitfalls I found myself getting into, is by not having that variety of games, it also keeps me from meeting other communities as well. Because the thing is that if you think about this, right, I've been hanging out more so with, Killjoy, who is a moderator for Alex Zedra, for those who are listening. Her and some of the other guys and gals do stuff together. And a lot of the people that are on there are people who have been in Alex's Discord community for a long time. And so by connecting over there, it's actually helped build my own community a little bit more. And I'm making more friends. I'm getting friends that are now helping to grow. Because you bring up an excellent point, Funny. You can have all the viewership in the world, but it kind of doesn't amount to anything unless it's consistent enough that it can build itself over time. The terminology I heard one musician use is called a super fan. And to be honest, I'm getting more and more super fans because of the connections I have through various communities now. While I may not get a lot of viewership on Twitch right now, there's a handful of them that have basically banded together and said, we'll get you boosted up to affiliate, and then once you're there, it's going to get a little easier, because then you're going to be more discoverable because you're an affiliate. And so I really appreciate people, being willing to do that for me. Because I know Ghost, especially for you, the more well-known members in Alex's Discord are definitely helping you for sure, or at least active ones.
Yeah. Although I also can't deny the fact that Caleb's community is helping too. They'll pop in every once in a while, some of Caleb's community.
But yeah, I was gonna say about those super fans who shows up regardless of what you're playing. I once, like a long time ago, I once had a viewer who was always here when I played. I think it was Minecraft or something. But he was interested in mod, and then he was always, watching and stuff. But he says that he only likes to come for this one game. I forgot. I think it was Minecraft. I forgot what it was. That's when my last admin told him that's why Alex will never make you mod, because you only come for one game. And then she was saying that if he wants to be mod, then he would have to come to my streams, no matter what game that I'm playing. And I know who comes to all my streams. Like people think I don't know, but like I do, because I'll notice you only come for like Final Fantasy or you only come for Battlefield or something like that, and those are the people that I do not make mods.
I mean, I like helping whoever I can. So if I see you online, I instantly go in.
To kind of piggyback off what Ghost was saying, I do the same thing too. Like, I will have Alex's stream in the background, and since most of her mods and a lot of the viewers that have been there for at least 2 years or more, they know me from interaction and such. We'll sometimes talk and chat and all that. I do it with other, Twitch streamers that I have some respect for as well. One of the other ones that's a little less known in Alex's Discord, she goes by the name itsxJas, and she was one that was a little more active a long time ago in Alex's Discord, but she's been rebuilding her own community after Mixer died. And so she's trying to rebuild from that. But I'll still put her stuff on in the background because I enjoy listening to her stuff. But also, I interact with some of the people in her chat just because some of them are just downright funny. And, and then I also try to help others too who are trying to get their streams and their communities growing. Another example of that is Green Gaming, who we're going to have on as a guest in the future, by the way, folks. He's not as well known, but he's been around for a little bit of time now in Alex's Discord, but he's been trying to stream and really go beyond affiliate for a long time. And so by me having his stuff on in the background, I know it's helping him. And I don't think he knows it, but at the very least, hopefully, it's getting him to his goals that he needs to get to. Which is something that also begs the question then. So with all these communities you were growing, I mean, excuse me, Lazy, sorry. What was your goal starting off with the first one you were building?
Nothing really, just have fun, meet new people. Uh, but it could have turned into something if the falling out never happened.
Do you think your new community that you're growing has a little more purpose to it now?
Yeah, I think it's a little more structured because back then I was a novice at streaming, but now I think I've gotten pretty decent at it. Um, I'm still trying to build up that community that I had back then with like 20 plus viewers every stream.
And for you, Ghost, I know you had mentioned a few goals about where you want to go with your content creation, but like in terms of long term goals, where do you think you would want to be?
Where do I want to be?
Mm-hmm.
At least affiliate. I mean, I don't, that's about it, really. I just want to reach affiliate. If it goes further than that, all right, I'll roll with it.
it, and sometimes that's the best thing you can do is just kind of feel your way through it because, you don't always find your niche when you first start off. And then when you do, it'll become evident. I think for me, I'm just doing a variety of stuff. But the one thing I've noticed when it comes to niches is, especially when we're talking anything related to like especially desktop hardware or even servers, that's definitely a niche that I really thoroughly enjoy. And I have to admit that one night when I was streaming tech support slash IT repair for the Razer mouse and the laptop, that was actually a fun night, and I really enjoyed it. To this day, it's actually still one of my most viewed archived videos. Believe it or not, that was one of the moments when I realized, oh crap, there really is something here. And the person that gave me that inspiration was actually Muscles. Believe it or not, I think he was onto something there. So that's one of the things I'm looking to do is occasionally stream, tech support, basically. But the other thing that also helped change my perspective is when I'm interacting with the other goons, I have noticed that one of the things that they really enjoy doing is not just bantering, but also they enjoy watching shooters in particular. So when I play shooters, they like to come on and poke fun at me and all that. Some of them are also on during the daytime. And so when I'm daytime streaming, regardless of the game, they'll come on and watch me. That's really helped me kind of understand where some of my audience is and where I think a good direction with that to go is. The other thing I've also discovered is any of the videos that I've done on my personal YouTube channel, Melodic Armor, has been really interesting to watch and grow because whenever I've done a podcast like video, it actually always gets better views overall than any of the gameplay compilation I've done so far. I think some of it is also because of having friends like the two of you, where we can talk together and we can exchange back and forth about this kind of stuff.
Right. Well, like your point with, how they come in and watch because you've noticed where you get your most views from. I have noticed that, yeah, the bigger games are where I get my views. Like, I have noticed with Modern Warfare, that's where I get my most views. That's where my stream's, most active. That's where everyone's making fun of my potato aim, whatever. But I have noticed that there are some games that do also start contending with it. Like Bloodborne has started to contend with Modern Warfare. So I have noticed which types of games people like watching me play and where they stand on that.
Which bring me back to my original point. People on Twitch only like to watch one type of game.
Yeah.
As you just witnessed with your Modern Warfare than your Bloodborne comparison.
Although luckily Bloodborne's big enough that it's one of those like, okay, I can still have a pretty active chat for this.
And I think that's kind of the same thing with me, is that whenever I play Modern Warfare, like, people come and they laugh at me because I'll be the first one to admit I'm not that great at Modern Warfare or even Warzone. Right. I'm kind of like the goofy guy in the midst of it in terms of because of how crappy my gameplay is. Even though ironically I used to be a competitive player in World of Tanks, go figure that one. They also like it when, well, like Rogue Company, for instance, the one we've been playing a lot more recently, has actually been allowing me to get more views. And I know that's because that game's picking up in popularity, but I also know it's because, because I do better at that game than most other games. People really like to watch me be able to, go run and gun in that game. And it's kind of interesting we were talking about all this stuff because, as we're going through it, we're recognizing where our goals are. Sometimes we have to change things up to be able to reach those goals. In your case, Lazy, what were some of the biggest changes you had to make to keep your content creation moving forward?
On what, Twitch or YouTube?
Well, any of the platforms, really.
I've been wanting to change the way I do YouTube by getting a voice changer and like doing all these neat effects, but I know nothing about that kind of stuff. And Twitch, I want a big community again, so that way I can dominate the world and be its new god.
Yeah, okay, buddy.
I am coming for a ninja. Why? You heard it first.
You're gonna need to fix that robotic first, there, buddy.
That's after I rule the world.
Okay, sure. Right. On to more.
Just remember that your favorite admin and best admin that you've ever had is here.
You'll see.
Stop you.
You guys think I'm playing, but when I'm huge and bigger than Ninja and Poopy Pie, I'm gonna unmod. I'm gonna unadmin Ghost and leave the server, and I'm gonna forget you guys ever existed. I'm gonna be hanging out with all my new YouTuber friends. It's gonna be great.
Okay, Zoomer.
I was about to say, dude, for someone that is been around this content creation stuff a while, you're acting more like a Zoomer than anything right now.
I will rule the world.
Okay, you keep your unrealistic goals to yourself, and let's move on to new horizons. For you, Ghost, what was some of the biggest changes you found that really helped you get moving?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, I know buying the laptop for you was a huge step forward for you.
I think you
Getting
just
a mic.
a decent mic because the one you have now sucks.
Whoa!
You gonna pay for it?
Hey, I would, but you won't give me your address, bastard.
I don't trust you with my address.
That's smart because I wouldn't trust me either.
Right.
I'm the only one who has his address for a reason.
Perhaps,
Ooh, melodic.
but perhaps not.
Well, we'll definitely work on getting you a mic, Ghost. Give me a little bit of time, and I'll get you set up.
I recommend the Corsair Void Pro. It has been wonders for me.
He doesn't need a headset necessarily.
Then I recommend the Shure SM7B. Works marvelously.
Yeah, but do you know how much that thing costs?
Only $400.
Yeah.
Only $400. Sir, my budget is $5.
Yes.
Goddamn peasants make me sick.
Whoa. Whoa. Okay. First off, sir, I'm the one with the most expensive computer here, so it would be me saying that to the rest of you if I was going to say that.
Now, hold on now there, buddy.
Yes.
Most expensive? Wouldn't say that.
Well, why not?
Yes.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, comparing and contrasting right now probably isn't the best idea because I have spent almost 2 years building it up to this point, so that is a while. But I am dead serious though, Ghost. We'll get you a good mic. Did you want one that can sit on a table or something?
Sure.
Is that like a yes or
For beginners, I recommend a snowball, maybe.
Sounds expensive.
No, it's only like what, 40, $50, something like that.
Yeah, no, it's one of the cheaper ones from Blue, and it does sound really nice.
It's the cheaper alternative to what I have.
And how cheap is that?
I just told you it's only like 40, $50, something like that.
Sir, that's not $5.
Tough luck. $5. You might as well just use one of those earbud mouthpiece things.
Anyway, can we go back to like the podcast?
Yeah, we're getting there. So it's kind of cool to hear though all the changes you guys have had to make though, right? Well, actually, we didn't talk much about your changes, Ghost. What changes did you have to, make to be able to see your content creation at least on Twitch start growing?
Headset first of all, so I could actually talk. Nightbot, so that I could actually, have some fun things. Great mods, who I do shout out every 30 minutes because I'm a generous god. Just trying to come up with a schedule and a plan. That's definitely something because like once I actually got into it and I started getting into a groove of like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. This is the plan. 7 to 10 first stream, 10 to that. Like, having consistency. I think that's really the main changes I've had to make.
Okay. I think for me, that's been the biggest thing that's keeping me from growing too much more is that I can't be consistent with my stream times because of, my personal life. And so then it can be really challenging to really be able to grow it where I want to grow it to. And so if it wasn't for the people helping me, I'm not sure I would be able to grow it any faster than I am right now.
I think a schedule is one of the most important things you could have. Now, I won't deny it. Past few days, I've been very bad with my schedule because I've been sleeping in a bit. But it's very.
I never had a schedule because I could never keep it because when I stream, I want to stream because I want to, not because I have to. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, for me, it's just that I play in the morning anyway, so just start stream early. Just be like, okay, yeah, here's when I'll start my stream.
Yeah. And I kind of agree with you there is that it's like there's a sense of having some flexibility, right? Because that's sometimes why I don't stream is if I feel burned out in a particular day, if I'm not really up to it, I know my audience is going to reflect that. And it's like, yeah, that's just not a good thing to have. So then I won't stream that day. And I think that's one of the things doing content creation has done for me personally is it really has actually helped me to be able to look at myself, understand where my mental faculties are in a given day and such, and then know that, okay, these are my limits and this is where I need to stop. Because I'm one of those people that I'll push myself until really I get burned out, and making that kind of sacrifice is not necessarily a healthy thing because long term it can have nasty effects.
To your point of getting burnt out, that's why I play so many different games. If I play a bunch of different games, I can't get burned out on any of my games because I'm never playing the same game over and over again.
Exactly. Like if one day I say, you know what, Final Fantasy is bullshit, I could just play something else.
Right. Like Saucy the other day, he was like, "How do you play COD for so long?" I'm just like, well, first of all, I love it. I haven't gone burnout because I play so many different games, I can't get burned out of any because I have a constant rotation of this. All right, here's a game, and once I'm done with all those other games, I'm like, oh, I want to go back to COD. Or I'm done playing COD, I'm like, I want to go back to Minecraft. I want to go back to Star Trek Online. Like, I am constantly going. I'm never on the same game over and over again. It's kind of just something like I would say for you, Melodic, you would need to just find games that you enjoy and just start playing them over and over. But multiple games, even in the same day, sometimes it's good to switch up between games.
You know, and I would agree with you on that, because sometimes, and this is one of the downsides for me, right, is I'm also having to learn is, because I'm on the high functioning end of the autism spectrum, it's very easy for me not to want to move out of a routine. And I know that's partially human nature, but especially with someone who's on the autism spectrum, moving out of a routine can actually be very, very challenging, because an autistic person's brain does not easily adjust to new routines as well, because of the way the brain is wired of an autistic person. And it can be very challenging to keep that in mind, like you're saying, Ghost. And so one of the things I've realized is I'm having to go back through my memories and say, hey, you know, these types of games, you know, what kind of games did I enjoy when I was a kid growing up? And then kind of start finding games that kind of fit that niche a little more and start playing those. Like, one thing I'm going to do soon is I'm actually going to do a probably about a 30-minute to hour long Tetris stream and then switch over to another game. The other idea I've had is I want to do a stream where I get, you know, the two of you and a bunch of others together and we play Gary's mod. I guess for me, the biggest thing that if I really wanted to leave something with my viewers, right, I would say this is that my content, while I do enjoy doing it, ultimately what I hope any of my viewers get out of it is not just enjoyment, but maybe, especially because of the way my podcasts are going to be structured on YouTube, maybe also taking small nuggets of something that's got a little bit of life to it here and there, whether it be maybe a little bit of wisdom about something or advice for how to be a better content creator, or, you know, just some, maybe a particular thought to kind of provoke one to think about, you know, hey, how am I behaving around other people? What can I do to better myself? I imagine you've kind of, since you've been doing it for a while, Lazy, that you've probably experienced something a little bit similar yourself.
Oh, you mean like the burnout that people get with streaming? There have been a few people who said that I inspired them to begin streaming. I'm not sure how they. I'm not sure what came out of their streams. Haven't talked to them since. And there's been some that says I inspired them to do YouTube and stuff. I have a bigger following on YouTube than I do on Twitch, but it's okay. I have them both separate, so that way, I don't know. I like to diversify myself. I I've been doing like a new video once a month because I'm just like, I don't know, like I do one video and I call it good. Like I'll just move on to something else now.
And do you, and for you, Ghost, since you're more recent to the game, do you still at least find that you're somewhat of an inspiration to some of your viewers or audience members?
I mean, Zuck started streaming, so I take credit for that.
Honestly, yeah, you're right.
I take full credit for Zuck streaming. Hopefully, I can bully Muscles into streaming a bit soon also.
You know, it's funny because he is a guy that I think would do much better than he gives himself credit for. But
Oh no, he'll do good. He knows.
so then, what's holding him back, do you think?
He wants to stream VR.
Oh,
He has what he wants. He knows what he wants to do. Like he could start streaming COD and stuff like that easily. He has no problem doing that. But he wants to do VR streaming.
Well, I honestly think that would be good, because then that way he's getting into a market that actually isn't very big when it comes to content creation.
I never liked watching VR streams because like on the stream it's like it doesn't cover up the whole player. It's just like two circles with the game. It looks so weird.
Some of them are like that, but not all of them. Some of them are getting better to where it is a full screen and you can actually see what goes on from the player's perspective. Well, I'm kind of glad you said that, Ghost, because now I have something to encourage him towards. Because I would like to see him start doing that too.
Oh yeah, he's definitely He's got the personality and the voice for it.
Mm-hmm.
Besides, I'd be there.
I think all of us, at some point or another would be there. Granted, some of us have more time than others, so it just depends on consistency.
Ow. That hurt.
No,
I
no,
feel attacked.
no. You have more time than the rest of us do.
Heck yeah.
Consider yourself blessed that you don't have to have the adult life we do.
That's because Ghost is lucky enough to be at that age where he doesn't have no bills, ain't got no job, just has to go to school. Then
Yeah.
that's it. He ain't got shit else to do. Although when I was his age, I had a job.
Loser.
It was at Walmart. It was pretty cool.
If that's what you did as your first job, I could understand that. If you were there for any serious length of time, I would be questioning it.
Oh, I was there for about 3 years. So yeah, it's not that bad.
Eh,
It's a pretty cool job. Pretty cool job.
I mean, yeah, yeah. I guess that's not too bad, but definitely no more than that.
Because I used to make jokes about my coworkers because some of them graduated high school, graduated college, and I would be like, "Why are you working here? What happened to your college education?"
Oh wow.
Sometimes, but sometimes I'm also I kind of laugh because like the system conditioned you to believe that you need college to have a good job. But I've seen firsthand, even if you have college education, you will still have Walmart as your first job.
Well, my first job was actually in the fast food business, and then I transitioned over to retail, specifically with Kohl's, and then Aldi, and then Micro Center, and now I no longer work for full time for a retailer at all. And I guess that's the thing is that when you really put it all together, right? We all have a place where we start. For me, the thing is that when I left that message, I was being very genuine because truly grateful for a lot of the people I've met, including you two, because they're a lot of the experiences I would have had done differently if I hadn't met you guys. I, looking back, I can definitely say that I don't think it would have turned out even remotely to the same level that it did with us. But by meeting you guys, it allowed me to be able to connect with more people, connect with more communities, not just on Discord, but even outside Discord, and be able to, have more connections to where I have people who are steering me towards job openings since I'm currently out of work at the moment, and as well as being able to help grow my content creation at the same time. And that's something that I would not trade because even though I know I've made a lot of mistakes along the way, it's it's been a learning experience that I do treasure very highly. I really hope to carry it forward in the years to come. Yeah, I don't mean to get a little too soft about that, but I'm just trying to highlight the value of it, because
Well, yeah, yeah. Like as you said, with the whole getting all these communities together, and that's what helps you grow. Like for me, Alex's community has helped me. I guess Funny's community has slightly helped me. Stem definitely. Caleb, her community's helped me out a lot, and some people from Golden Roses. I don't know if you know who that is, but some of them have come over and they've said hi. And networking helps a lot.
I think I need to network more often. I barely even do it in Alex's stream.
yeah, and I can appreciate that because I know even though, like, when you're talking with us, your personality seems extroverted. I know when we've talked with you in the past, you have said that in all reality, you're actually more of an introvert.
A little bit.
You gotta open them up.
All right. Well, we've definitely had our fun here and such. So let's go ahead and bring this to a conclusion real quick. So, any closing thoughts from either of you?
First of all, more people, don't be afraid to get into streaming. I'm completely introverted and am total cringe, but I stream. Second of all, network. Get to know other communities. If they have a hype, don't be afraid to put it in. I don't feel like you're not an ass. Put it in there. So people know where you are. Subtly advertise yourself in other people's streams, by the way. Great way. Just be like, oh, I was streaming today. Things like that.
That's a good way to get banned.
No. It's subtle.
Yeah.
Subtle.
He's
like
hmm.
sometimes I'll say, yeah, I was I don't say that I was streaming, but I
I do
mentioned
it all
like I'm like, hey, this is my emote or something subtle.
the time. Well, I just say it like that just because I'm 4 away from affiliates. So it's just like, I'm impatient.
And
Like, it's also just like, hey, I know you. I know you're a cool guy or gal. I'm streaming. If you happen to pop in, I wouldn't mind.
and if you do get into streaming, be prepared for all the stupid, dumbass questions people ask you. I swear to God.
If you are a very adult streamer, make sure you put your thing at 18 plus.
Sometimes I will put on 18 plus if I'm streaming like Grand Theft Auto or something like that.
Yeah.
Something violent and has all kinds of nudity and sex in it. I'll probably I put it 18 plus.
I just mostly do it for my humor and my vulgarity. To finish off my last thought, don't be afraid to stream different games. Don't stream one game. I know it's a bigger way to. I know you can grow easier than that, but it's a bad loop. You might get more views and stuff, but it's not worth it for yourself.
And also, don't listen to your. It's okay to listen to your viewers, but like, don't listen to them if they want you to play something else. Don't just switch games right there, because no one wants to watch a stream where you change games every 10 minutes because one of your viewers wants you to.
You stick with your fans, the people who will stick with you no matter what game you play. Those people
Exactly.
you're there to entertain.
The only
Never
ones.
worry about the people who tell you what to play. Play with the people who will watch what you play.
Yeah, you guys bring up excellent points there. And I think the one thing I would say is to everybody listening out there, this is going to be my last 2 cents I'll give. Never be afraid to to prioritize quality over quantity, because the quantity will only take you so far in the long run, whereas the quality is something that'll last. And I think a good example of this is a YouTuber by the name of C Nanners. Him and a lot of his buddies, they've been gaming YouTubers all the way back to even before Machinima started. Now, out of all his friends, he gets the most views and click through. The reason why his content's so enduring is because it has good quality to it, and even like he's got video clips going back, God, like 9 years even, and they're still so good for what they are that I can highly recommend them to people, because you'll eventually find what works best for you and it'll start to show in your audience.
And also, don't do not make every person who comes to your stream a mod, because I've seen that happen. No one wants to enter a new stream and see this wall of mods where there's like 20 mods but only like 10 followers. That makes no damn sense. You got to be more selective about them.
Yeah, it'll cause a lot more problems than it will actually help. Trust me, I've seen the same thing too.
But yes, mods are very important.
They are, and some.
And
Mhm.
communicate with your mods. Communication between staff is key. And this goes for anybody. Communicate. Because if you're not communicating and people can tell you're disorganized and it shows and it's not a good look, it's no bueno. Communicate. Learn to communicate.
Be like me. I communicate with my mods. Huh, Ghost?
Because you're just a giant simp for Tasha.
Oof.
She's the homie.
Those two are correct, because I've been in clans before, and I can tell you that has been the number one downfall of a lot of big communities is when you have the leadership just not communicating correctly. I agree, Ghost. In some discords I've been in recently, I've been seeing that happen, and it's not a good thing. But if what I would say is this, add that to the whole thing of quality over quantity, because if you can get good quality leadership in that's willing to learn and grow, that'll make a huge difference, because then things like communication and such will come natural.
Communication between staff and viewer is very important.
It is, because if you don't know what your audience is thinking, how can you grow the community even more? No, it's all good. So, well, I appreciate all the input you guys have given. So, this is definitely going to be a lot of content. So, all right. So, anyway, for everybody who's been listening to this podcast, thank you for tuning in and just really giving a listen. Links to not only all right, well, links are going to be in the description below, folks, for their content, and then also for my content as well. And also I have started a Patreon recently, so any donations that you can give would greatly help out the podcast, because a few dollars here and there will help keep things rolling along here. And yeah, and so I guess that will about do it. Enjoy the in whatever time zone you are. Enjoy your night, day, morning, whatever it is, and we will catch you all on the next one. Peace out.